All right. What's going on? This is Clarence Jr. breaking down the Bulldogs. Today, we're going to be breaking down the CIAA. As the CIAA tournament is a stone's throw away beginning on Tuesday. So, I mean, I think that happened because, if I'm not mistaken, y'all probably had the same record, conference record, and y'all split the two games. So that's how it goes. But honestly, it's y'all's fault though. If y'all wouldn't have lost to Livingstone, then y'all probably would have won outright. But y'all went ahead and gave that one away, and so that's how that happens. I don't know that feeling though, because over here we number one in the North all by ourselves. So I don't know about that. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. We ain't gonna waste no time. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the bracket, and we're gonna get straight into it. We'll start with. Let's see. We'll start with the men's. Why not? All right. Now, let me see. I'm gonna have to zoom in on this because it's kind of small. All right. Let's go back here. And I'm gonna make this even smaller, so because it's still kind of small, even with that, because it's a small text. All right. So we start off. Shaw versus Lincoln. We're in the men's tournament. So Lincoln obviously has had a very, very difficult year. I've been watching them. Tough year for Lincoln. Shaw started off very hot, but cooled off a bit, but a solid team. I've seen them live once, and I've seen a couple of other of their games. I don't think this is a very controversial pick. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and put the let me pause for a second. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in the chat because I'm sure there's some people out there who have some different opinions on who's going to win these games. So I'm gonna go ahead and post that there. See if anybody has some different picks than me. I'm pretty sure some of them are going to have different picks, but okay. Let's go. Let's get back to it. So, start off Shaw versus Lincoln. I don't think this is controversial at all. Shaw is going to win that game, in my personal opinion. Then we have Bluefield State versus Winston-Salem State. Now, here is my first controversial pick. I've seen several Bluefield State games done in person, but I have seen Winston in person. I understand Winston just fired their coach, and there's a lot of stuff up in the air with that program. But I think Winston pulls off the upset, beats Bluefield State. All right. Then we have Johnson C. Smith versus Elizabeth City State. I've seen Johnson C. Smith in person, not so much at Elizabeth City State. I don't think this is all that controversial. Johnson C. Smith should handle Elizabeth City State. All right. Next, we have Bowie State at Livingstone. Now, we played Livingstone early in the year. We beat them. That was actually one of our best games this year. Lots of dunks and lobs in that game. That was one of the Bowie's best games this year, a few. Also, we eliminated Livingstone in the tournament last year. So, I'm going to say this. Bowie State will win a CIAA tournament game. Bowie State is going to beat Livingstone. However, I will also say this. If Livingstone was to win this game, I would not be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. But I do think Bowie State can win this game and will win this game. But listen, it's been a rough year. It's been a trying time. So quick recap. Shaw over Lincoln. Winston-Salem State over Bluefield State. Johnson C. Smith over Elizabeth City State. And then Bowie State over Livingstone. All right, now we're in the quarterfinals. We have Virginia State versus Shaw. A rematch. A game that I think was it Shaw that gave this game away. They had a chance. They should have beat Virginia State at home, and they get kind of no. I think Shaw won that one in the close one actually. But I'm going to take Virginia State to beat Shaw. Then we have Claflin versus Winston-Salem. I'm going to take Claflin, obviously. Then we have Union versus JCSU. I'm going Union. Then we have Bowie State versus Fayetteville. Listen, we don't got to talk about that. Fayetteville State. Fayetteville. Hopefully we just, hopefully it's just a close game, but Fayetteville State, Hey, the thing is, if we get one, if we make it to the quarterfinals, we did our job. We can go back home. Listen, so there's that. Virginia State over Shaw, Claflin over WSSU, Union over JCSU, Fayetteville State over my Bulldogs. Now we're fast forwarding to the semifinals. We got Virginia State versus Claflin. I thought about this one for a minute, honestly. I'm going to take Claflin over Virginia State. I'm going to take Claflin in that one. Then we have Union versus Fayetteville. This is a very interesting matchup. Union is known for their defense and their post play. They're an inside-out basketball team. The weakness of Virginia Union is their guard play. The strength of Fayetteville State is their guard play. I think Fayetteville State handles Union, gets to the championship game. So once again, in the semifinals, Claflin beats Virginia State, Fayetteville State beats Virginia Union, and then in the championship game, there we have Claflin versus Fayetteville State. I'm gonna go big screen for this just because I got for clip purposes. All right, so in the CIAA championship for 2026, the men's matchup will be Claflin versus Fayetteville State, and Fayetteville State will win the CIAA men's championship. All right. Now, let's move on over to the women's bracket. So let me take this down and pull that one up. Same thing, got to zoom in. All right, there we go. Same thing. Let me move myself to the bottom. Shaw could lose on two. I just saw that. Shaw, well, the men's. Shaw's not losing. Hold on. See, it's getting out of hand. I understand. I think that's one of y'all's rivals, if I'm not mistaken. But Shaw losing to Lincoln, that's not happening. That's not happening. That's not happening. But okay, let's move on to the women's bracket, which is right here. All right. Livingstone versus Elizabeth City State. They are up and down. I will give you that. That is true. Livingstone, Elizabeth City State. I thought about this one for a minute. Livingstone. Virginia Union versus Johnson C. Smith. We all know how Union pulled off that miraculous win at Johnson C. Smith earlier in the season, but I'll take Union in that one. Then we have Bluefield State versus Shaw. I'm going to take Bluefield State. Then we have Claflin versus Lincoln. I mean, listen, it's been a rough year for Lincoln, for both men and women. Claflin by a whole lot. So once again, Livingstone over ECSU, Union over Johnson C. Smith, Bluefield State over Shaw, Claflin over Lincoln. So now we're in the quarterfinals. We got Bowie State versus Livingstone. Listen, we have to win this game. We should win this game. And Lord willing, we will win this game. Bowie State is going to beat The number one team in the North, by the way, is going to beat Livingstone. All right. Then we have Union versus Fayetteville State. Fayetteville State. I mean, I like Union, but Fayetteville State. Then we have WSSU versus Bluefield. Blue say no. WSSU is going to handle Bluefield. Then we have Claflin versus Virginia State. I thought about this one for a minute, for like a good minute. I'm going to take Claflin over Virginia State. I just like I don't know. I'm going with Claflin. So once again, Bowie State over Livingstone, Fayetteville State over Union, WSSU over Bluefield, and Claflin over Virginia State. All right, so now we have, this is where, man, Bowie State versus Fayetteville State. Man. I'm going to take Fayetteville State. But I'm hoping and praying for my Bulldogs, man. I'm hoping, They're a good team. Listen, if they can run the floor, if they can keep Fayetteville State off the offensive glass, if they can make jump shots, then they have a chance. But I gotta take Fayetteville State. Gotta be objective, right? So hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong on that one. But yeah. So then we have WSSU versus Claflin. They've already beaten Claflin twice. I thought about this for a minute, but I did take WSSU over Claflin. However, if Claflin pulled off the upset, I would not be surprised. I'm not picking them, but I wouldn't be surprised. So we got Fayetteville State over Bowie State and Winston-Salem State over Claflin. So the championship game is the third matchup between Fayetteville State and WSSU. I'm going to take Fayetteville State to win again. I'm mistake. I forget. This is either their third. This would either be their third in a row or their fourth in a row. But at a neutral site, I'm going to take the battle-tested team and coach. I'm going to take Fayetteville State. So once again, let me do the close-up. The CIAA 2026 Women's Championship game will be Fayetteville State versus Winston-Salem State, and Fayetteville State's championship experience and coaching will make the difference, and they will win for either the third or the fourth year in a row. So basically, the CIAA tournament this year is the Fayetteville State Invitational, as I predict a clean sweep by Fayetteville State. Fayetteville State will win the men's and the women's CIAA championship. I could be wrong, but that's how it's looking like to me. Obviously, there's always an upset or two. But hey, I hear. Okay, I see. I see the Winston folk in here. Okay, we shall see. I think it's going to be a good game. That might be. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. If the women's championship game is Fayetteville State versus Winston-Salem State on the women's side, the women's game is going to be better than the men's game. And the men's game is going to be good. But listen, if the women's championship game is Fayetteville State versus Winston-Salem State, that game going to be lit. It's going to be lit. Listen, if you don't go to no other CIAA games, if that's the women's championship game, you need to make sure you come and you're in the building for that. Trust me. That's going to be I don't want to go too far, but that might be the best CIAA women's game. Well, I can't say that because I don't know the history like that. But that would definitely be a top five CIAA women's game of all time. It got to be in the top five. The belts will, man. Okay, we go. But like I said, either way, I mean, I don't have a dog in that fight, you know. But back to the matter of fact, one quick point on the women's bracket because I had Fayetteville State beating Union. Here's what I'm hoping for. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm hoping Union can somehow, some way, pull off the upset over Fayetteville State. Because I would much rather face VUU for the third time than Fayetteville State. You know, so in the quarterfinals, I'm hoping and praying. I'm gonna be a Virginia Union Panther in those quarterfinals because I need Union to take care of Fayetteville State for us, man. We need that. Like, oh man, okay. Oh yeah, this if it does happen, I'm be in the building. But like I said, listen, Virginia Union, listen, I would much rather have a CIAA rematch for the third time than to play Fayetteville State. So Union, do what you got to do, pull off the upset, shock the world, because we got a much better chance of going to the championship game if we up against Union. Then, but hey, anything can happen. So we'll see. But there you have it, though. That's my CIAA bracket predictions. I want to see everybody else's though. And just so you know, I'm not bluffing. I actually printed the. I don't know if you can see it. Let me. I actually printed them out and filled it out so you can see. We need to make sure we have this CIAA bracket challenge. I want to see who else. I want to see who you guys picked. Who you think is going to take it all? But there you have it. Not going to be here all night. Peace. Hold on. I just noticed something. See? I'm gonna turn this back on for a quick second. Hold on. See now my light all messed up. It ain't supposed to look like that. Hold on. There we go. All right. See, I ain't even got a haircut. Let me put my hat right back on. Hold on. All right. Here we go. What's going on?
What's up, man? How you doing, Clarence?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm a little in my feelings about this co-champ thing, but
Hey,
and I'm
as
gonna
long
say that because I've been covering the CIAA since 2013. I never have heard that being used as a. I never heard it being used, even when it was the same scenario. I never heard co-champ before. Fayetteville State, they love division championships over there. You know, They love division championships. We really just focus on the actual championships, but they love division championships over there. So I get it. You know, I mean, hey, it is what it is. We got bigger goals than that. We've been saying all year. Our coach, and I'm WSSU Ram Nation hat right here. We got our coach been saying all year. Bigger goals than that. Even when we won 16 in a row, even when we got nationally ranked, she's been saying our goal wasn't to win 16 in a row. It wasn't to get nationally ranked. It was to become the first team in school history to win the women's team to win the CIAA tournament. She's been consistent with that all year. And so, yeah, yesterday was a downer. It was, but maybe we needed that. Maybe we needed that. That's how I'm going to take it because there's some things that, we have been, getting away with. there's some, there's. I think it needed to wake us up a little bit. When you go down to Livingstone, you go to these private schools. They got. I always say it's not just Livingstone. All of these private school gyms. If you keep it close, you're gonna get in trouble because they're gonna come up with some phantom calls at the end of the game, and it happened. There was also a slip on the floor and the floor just was slick when our player needed to score what would have been put us up by three late. That is neither here nor there. We played bad. We had our worst game of the year. We shot 25%. We shot 4 for 18 from the 3-point line on the road, and yet we still had the chance to win the game, and we didn't. So, is it the end of the world? No. Would it have been? I would have loved to have give Fayetteville State nothing. But hey, it is what it is. And I don't know. I just remember 2 years ago, our men were on a roll. They won 10 in a row going into the tournament. Went to
Yeah,
Livingstone, pulled up to Livingstone and these white warm-ups that we got from the NBA All-Star game, flaunting all our championships, beat them by 20, and we just knew we were going right back to the CIAA championship. And then Bluefield State happened. So, maybe that's what this team needs. We only have two true seniors that play a lot of time. The rest of our young ladies, including Maya Charles, a sophomore, Brianna Rofe, she should be getting the her rookie of the year trophy should be there right now. Somebody else might have better numbers than her. I haven't looked for that, but in terms of impact, she's been one of our better players. She's only averaging like maybe 6 a game, but she's been really big down the stretch. Even yesterday, she had 14 and 10 as a 5'6" guard, freshman guard. So, but anyway, yeah, yeah, yesterday, I guess it's better to get out of your system now.
well,
We live
don't
off
sleep on
of playing
Claflin.
really good defense, getting a lot of shots, getting transition, and we are not the best 3-point shooters in the world, and we did not get enough live ball turnovers to make up for that. And yeah, I mean, as great as you are, you're not going to win any games shooting 25%. Although we have won several games shooting 30%, 30 to 35%. So it is a So, I expect better performance coming out for sure on Wednesday. You win Wednesday, you get a day of rest. I really wasn't feeling the 3 days in a row. So I'm glad they went ahead and got that dub. The men, God bless them, Hey, they fought hard at
Oh,
Livingstone. I will say over the last week they have competed hard, even with the coaching fire, even with they only had like 7 or 8 guys.
yeah,
So,
why is there only seven
there's
or eight
that,
guys?
but
Why is there only 7 or 8 guys? Did they like quit the team or
I can't
something?
hear you, Clarence, for some reason. I don't.
Oh, hold on, let me.
Maybe it's just me.
Is my you can hear me now? Hmm. Let me see.
Yeah, I can't.
You can hear
I
me
can't
now?
hear you, Clarence. Let me come out and try to go back in. I don't know. Let me see.
That's strange. Can y'all hear me? I'm seeing the little green bubbles just saying my mic is on. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, man, hey, I wouldn't be okay.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good, good, good.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's that. Yeah. It's not going to be an easy road for anybody. There are a lot of good teams in the CIAA. Bowie has come on late, so you add them to the mix. Fayetteville, obviously, and even Virginia State. They've had some really good stretches, and Virginia Union has been tough. And I kind of I looked at Claflin. I think at each of the conferences, you kind of look at the third team. As far as each division, you look at the third team. I looked at Claflin as a team that, like, all right, this is the team that says whether you're legit or not, if you can sweep them, and Winston was able to get the sweep, but and I think when we were down at their place, we won by 9 and we beat them by whatever it was at home, like 15 or so. But Fayetteville State, I know. Look, they're hard to beat in Fayetteville, and they're a good team. They're very experienced, well coached, all of that good stuff. But I said going down to Claflin, that might be the game that gets them because Claflin, I mean, even like us against Livingstone the other day, like Livingstone has not been a great team all year, but they played us well in Winston, and then and came out on fire. And then, so I was a little worried about that game already to begin with. And then yesterday, I wonder. I know, playing down in New Trent is especially for WSSU. All the other games, they can be as dead as a doorknob. But when it comes to playing WSSU, you know, that's their Super Bowl. That is, that's when they're going to it's gonna be, you got you got the president out there, President Davis out there making videos. You got the AI. They had the AI of the blue bear eating a ram. I'm serious, So at the end of the day, I was a little worried about how they would do with it because again, a lot of our key rotational players are freshmen or sophomore, and there were moments where they played like that. So, but anyway, when you play those, it's I think the CIAA is the ultimate neutralizer because everybody's tougher to beat at home for the most part. I mean, Elizabeth City and Lincoln, they are what they are.
Yeah.
I mean, even our men, as bad as they have been, they have generally been better. They've been tougher to beat at home. So I think the CIAA is the equalizer. Um, but I think it also matters how you come into it. It's everything's mental. Like right now, they're handing out trophies. I'm guessing they're handing out trophies right now. I don't think they're doing it Monday morning anymore. So, some people are gonna get trophies, some people are gonna get the big head, and some people are gonna be sitting there like, oh, you got that, you gave that to them. Nah, I need that, I'm that guy. So or I'm that girl. I'll tell you one player I will be watching the center from Livingstone, Breasia Colt. She I don't know. She might. It's gonna be interesting for the CIAA Defensive Player of the Year. I know they got young lady at Shaw that's blocking like 6 shots a game, but she doesn't do a lot of rebounding. And to me, that's a part of it too. She doesn't do a lot of rebounding. And so you got her, you got Maya Charles from Winston who gets rebounds, blocks, and steals. And then you got Colt, who I think she's the best rebounder by far in the league, and she gets her fair share of blocks. But she's actually from Baltimore, and hey, man, they came in your backyard and took one because she definitely makes the defenses change up their shot inside. She's a true eraser. So it's I think it's gonna be good. I'm looking honestly. And maybe this is because I've seen a lot of bad men's basketball this year, but I'm definitely looking forward to the women's tournament more than the
Yeah.
men's tournament.
Man.
Um, I mean, just in general. Obviously, Fayetteville State, Fayetteville State. I hope you guys enjoy Coach Hearn this year because I heard, there is a job opening in Winston, and I heard some people would like to have your coach over at WSSU. I'm gonna try to keep that quiet this week. I don't want to add any controversy at the
You said
tournament.
you talking about
But
the head coach?
yeah, the head coach.
I don't think she's leaving to go to
No, no, no,
Winston.
no. No, 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 no. I'm talking about that men's head coach. There's an opening in Winston.
Yeah, you say who's going to Winston from Bowie?
No, no, not Bowie, not Bowie, Fayetteville. I said
I was
Fayetteville.
about to,
Enjoy,
yeah.
enjoy
If you
your,
talking about
enjoy your.
yes, if you want them. So I'm about to say, please take it right now.
Yeah, no,
You
no,
want
no.
to
I'm
say,
saying Fayetteville's head coach, Fayetteville's
oh,
men's head
okay,
coach. I looked up the numbers. I saw how much he's making. I mean, he's making $90,000. Now maybe they'll give him a raise and bump him up higher, but we could pay him a little bit more than we could pay him more than they're paying him in Fayetteville State. And I already know he likes that atmosphere, so you know that'll be interesting to see. But
Yeah, I don't know about that. Like you would think after all them championships, are you going to move? You would move up.
maybe.
Like yeah.
Well, I mean, look at
I mean,
it.
who's it? Either Morgan or Coppin? One of them. They need to. They need a coach bad.
They do, but it's a whole different set of circumstances. I mean, if you look at it, only one CIAA school in the past 15 years has had a coach go up to Division 1, and
Yeah.
that's been WSSU twice. Now it's barely Eastern Shore, but you know. But anyway, well, I'll keep that controversy down this weekend. I think. I will start the rumor about we want their coach, but during the championship week. But no, seriously, now I think it's the Fayetteville men. They look good. They look good. They're on a roll. But it's just like I was talking about with Winston a couple years ago. They're red hot. Their coach is probably gonna win Coach of the Year. Howell's definitely probably gonna win the Player of the Year. They're gonna have a lot of all conference selections, and so now the pressure's gonna be on them. Everybody else is playing with house money. How are they gonna handle the pressure of being the favorites, and how do they go against it when they haven't lost a game this year?
Man, I'm just hoping we can keep it close because that first time that was an abomination.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
turned the TV off. I'm not even watching the rest of it. I turned it off. Like I don't need to see no more of this.
yeah. I mean, but like I said, you what was did y'all play them at home too, or did y'all only play them on the
But
road?
we only played them once. We played them at Fayetteville, and it was man, it was
Well, I mean,
bad. We
I
beat them
mean,
last year for the first time in a long time, but that whole team wound up leaving. Like
it's a
the whole
difference. Yeah. I mean, now when Winston went to Fayetteville, the men got beat by 26 points. But when they came to Winston, they only won by 10. I mean, they still were in control for most of it, but all of that to say,
I'll
home
take 10
court,
points. I'll
you
take
know,
that.
that home court, that neutral court is an equalizer. That neutral court is an equalizer in a lot of ways. You're out of your regular rhythm. You're staying in this hotel. For most folks, they're staying in a hotel. They're practicing in places that are unfamiliar. So you never know. The best team, we've seen it time and time again. The best team does not always win, and that's unfortunate for Virginia Union. They've kind of had a pattern of having really good teams in the regular season, but not really having the success in the tournament as of late. So, you know, that's the monkey that they got on their back. Virginia State, they got the monkey on their back of being the defending champions. So it's a lot of teams that's dealing with a lot of pressure. And and there's a Shaw who started the season off red hot, depending on what you hear, internal issues. And they've got a lot of talent though,
Yeah, they go.
coming
They
off
can
a
shoot.
loss.
So when you can shoot, you got a chance,
May
and
you
they're
know,
gonna put some
maybe
shots up for sure.
maybe it all clicks for them, and maybe they take down, maybe they start off on Tuesday, get to Wednesday, and find their way to Friday. Who knows?
It could
So
happen.
I mean, I remember the first year I went to CIAA. Bowie was that same type of team. Bowie was up and down. They had a middle of the road record, and I think they kind of started to get high towards the end of the season. But they messed around and won the whole thing that year, and that was a middle of the road record. But it can happen. It hasn't happened so many times recently, but it can happen. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'll be down there on Friday. Hopefully let me see, what day is that game? Yeah, yep, Friday. The ladies hopefully will still be in it. They'll be facing off against Fayetteville State that night. Hopefully we can make something happen.
I mean, hey, maybe y'all will catch them overlooking y'all to get to us.
Hey, I'll tell you that works for me. Whatever we got to do to get there, I don't care what got to happen. Let's just get there.
Yeah, yeah, nah, but it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be there Tuesday. I'll be there Tuesday through Saturday. So yeah, but I think it's gonna be a good tournament full of surprises. But yes, WSSU versus Fayetteville Part 3. Yeah, again, as a neutral observer, if your team's not in, I think you would still want to watch it. Again, these teams did not like each other. You know, like I say, as much as we have been,
Oh
as we
yeah,
have,
sure. I know they seen y'all in the stands with all them belts out, so I know they remember
well,
that.
well, you got to remember we had people in the stands with the belt, but they started that when we played them and they pulled out the belt. So they kind of started that. We just got our lick back, as the kids say. So, it was so yeah, but yeah, I mean, I just remember being in Fayetteville. Winston did not like the way Fayetteville celebrated because I again and I fancy myself a CIAA historian, so I always love to remind Fayetteville State that as much as they want to claim that they are a rival and they are having some success in basketball now, finally they still only have two championships, so to our 13. And traditionally we have, beaten them going all the way back, to the 50s, 40s and 50s, So, but for our women, it's kind of been the opposite. For our women, it's kind of been the opposite. The Fayetteville State, has been a better women's basketball program for a while. Last year, that second game of the year, that second time they played us, they beat us by 50, you know? And not a lot of those players are left, but some of those players are left, So then when we pulled up to Fayetteville and they pulled out the belts and all of this jumping up and down and all of this stuff, as the two-time defending champions over beating little old WSSU, it was like, okay, that yeah, they're gonna, they've been where they've been, but they see us coming. And then when they came to Winston, I mean, it all worked out the other way. And, the Rams, had a bad taste in their mouth. That I think that, again, depends on how things go. But if we look back and in a week from now, WSSU was the CIAA champs. I'm gonna look at that first. I'm gonna look at those three losses, those two losses, because the A&T one, it was the first game under a new head coach and the bright lights against a good D1 program. But I'm gonna look at those. I'm gonna look at that Fayetteville State loss. I think that's where everybody on the team had to get that. We had this mentality: WSSU versus everybody, and against North Carolina teams, that's especially how it is. So the fact that this is the two-time defending champions and they're out here celebrating like they never won before because they beat us, you know, that kind of I think that kind of put the battery in everybody's back about, okay, everybody's like, no, we really don't like these young ladies. And then it didn't help the fact that after the game, Fayetteville loses in the handshake line, because I don't even, after the game, Fayetteville State loses, and two of the players start mouthing off at our coach, like, like that's something, and maybe that's chauvinistic. Maybe that's something you expect. Maybe even in a men's game, it's rare. It's rare that you see that type of energy towards a coach, but they were coming to our coach with that energy. Nah, man, nah, that's next level. So it's like in the NBA when MJ had to beat the Pistons before he could win his first championship. You know, I don't know. Maybe that win in Winston was that beating the Pistons moment. And if we see him again, then maybe that'll be it too. But I think it was like, I think Michael was like, they're not scared of them anymore. I think it's definitely that now. So it's a new day. It's a new Ram day in the CIAA.
Yeah, we will see. We will see. Hopefully, this storm is wrapping up. I don't want this messing up the week.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully it will wrap up because we got spring football coming, and my Rams already off to a good start. We played Virginia Wesleyan yesterday, 37-6.
Oh yeah,
So
I saw that.
defending the defending CIAA champs I think they got a meet in Winston coming up soon. I think it said Union first, and then it said Winston, and then everybody plays in the championship. So, you know, we coming back as a football program, and our guy won the MVP of the
Oh, yes, I
of
saw.
the
I didn't see the game though, but I saw that.
yeah, he won the MVP of the Legacy Bowl for Team Gaither.
Well, you already know we we got Coach Odoms. It's
We'll see, Coach.
oh,
We'll see.
we are back.
We'll We'll see, Coach. We'll see, Coach Odoms on October 10th at Bowman Gray Stadium.
We're
But
back to the top where we supposed to be.
that's all right. We got a legend of our
Ah,
own at home. You know, we already getting daily signing day updates. We getting daily updates, so we don't know how to act around here, and it's gonna be a problem. Let us go ahead. You know, we get Johnson C. Smith the third game of the year, and it's going to be a night game probably. So we look forward to that'll be different. Look forward to that energy. We look forward to you know watch. We're gonna go. We go look. We're gonna go. I'm gonna tell you right now. We're gonna go to Norfolk and we're gonna beat
I
Norfolk
hear you.
State game one. Mark it down. Mark it down.
Vic can't afford that loss. He got to win that one. He got to win that one.
Nah, shout out to them for giving the game. That's the power of networking. So,
Yeah,
and
that's week 0, right?
that is week 0. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, I'll probably be at that one because I'm not going all the way to Canton again.
yeah. And then
That's a much shorter drive. I'll be over
and
there.
then we see that our former head coach found a landing place. Good for him. You know, it's interesting. The last two WSSU coaches to lose to Johnson C. Smith have gotten jobs there. So, that's interesting. But nah, congrats to Coach Massey. Happy for him. He's really good at coaching that position and defensive back. So good for them. Good for him. We'll see. We'll see them all on September 12th. We're looking forward to it.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. I'm gonna get ready to get up out of here. I do appreciate you joining me though. I'll definitely see you and a few other people down in Baltimore.
Oh yeah. My boy Alonzo, Doctor Turner, future Doctor Turner will be there as well. So you have to definitely make sure you pull up on us. It's gonna be whole lot of red. They might call enforcement when they see all this red come through.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time though. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, man. Catch you later.
All
Peace.
right. All righty. For real this time, y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all probably Friday. Well, because that's when the tournament kicking off. I'm looking forward to it. If you see me down there, hey, say what's up. We're gonna have a good time. I'm looking forward to all the day parties and the night parties and the basketball games. Try to do some interviews. We're gonna have a good time. Peace out.